Hello. Alors, vous savez très bien que dans l'organisation de ces journées, on aura des sujets sur le financement, sur l'infrastructure, sur les chaînes de valeur autonomes pour assurer la résilience du continent face aux chocs extérieurs. Mais également, il y a un point qu'on va traiter qui est en rapport aussi avec l'importance des zones économiques spéciales dans l'organisation et la mission de la zone de libre-échange continentale africaine. Et pour en parler en quelques mots, je voudrais inviter ici Monsieur Emmanuel Mbarga de la ZLECAF. C'est notre expert, hein, il nous a coachés tous, je vous prie de l'ovationner. Il nous a coachés tous sur ce qui concerne la zone. Oui, la zone continentale, je suis heureux de le recevoir. On va l'écouter en quelques mots et ensuite on va introduire la session.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur le modérateur, pour cette introduction. Excellences, mesdames et messieurs, en attendant que le panel soit mis en place, on va peut-être vous dire comment est-ce qu'on en est arrivé à adopter au niveau de l'Afrique, dans le cadre des négociations de la zone de libre-échange continentale africaine, un règlement important qui porte, le secrétaire général a dit ce matin, sur comment traiter les produits issus ou fabriqués dans les zones économiques spéciales. Pendant les négociations, il y a eu deux questions principales. La première était celle-ci: comment est-ce qu'on va traiter ces produits-là? Et nous savons que les zones économiques spéciales dans nos pays bénéficient des incitations diverses. Le secrétaire général a dit ce matin, il y en a plus de 200. Lorsqu'on a fait l'étude, on a pu dénombrer 220 zones économiques spéciales, chacune, effectivement, avec ces incitations qui sont accordées sur le foncier, sur les impôts. Et là, les ministres ont proposé au chef d'État de prendre une décision politique importante, de pouvoir dire, on traite les produits fabriqués dans les zones économiques spéciales de la même manière que les autres. À savoir, il suffit que ces produits-là, eh bien, puissent respecter les règles d'origine pour bénéficier de toutes les préférences commerciales qui sont prévues dans le cadre de l'accord portant création de la mise en œuvre, portant création de la zone de libre-échange continentale africaine. Là, c'était le premier point, qui est un point, une décision courageuse de dire, eh bien, tous ces produits-là vont bénéficier des préférences. Pourquoi? Parce qu'il faut qu'il y ait une zone économique spéciale, une zone économique au niveau de l'Afrique. Il faut que la ZLECAF soit un accord inclusif. Parce que si on exclut ces produits-là des préférences commerciales, eh bien, on va se retrouver avec des pays dont les produits sont fabriqués, les produits à l'exportation sont uniquement fabriqués dans les zones économiques spéciales. Il fallait donc intégrer tous ces pays-là. Donc, on résout un problème, le problème de l'inclusivité, en admettant les produits fabriqués dans les zones économiques spéciales. La deuxième question, c'était de savoir comment est-ce qu'on fait par rapport au fait que les incitations sont diverses. Parce que chacun, par rapport à son pays, nous le connaissons, fait un peu. Chaque pays a adopté, n'est-ce pas, des incitations au niveau de la mise en œuvre. À ce niveau, si on avait pris le cas par cas, je pense qu'aujourd'hui, on en serait encore là à négocier, véritablement. Donc, ce qui a été décidé, c'est de dire, on oublie la variété, la multiplicité des incitations et on considère les zones économiques spéciales comme un tout. Eh bien, tous les produits qui y sont fabriqués, véritablement, vont bénéficier des préférences commerciales à la ZLECAF. Donc, on a résolu un problème et aujourd'hui, on est en train effectivement de parler de la mise en œuvre de ce règlement ministériel qui a été par la suite adopté par les chefs d'État. Et c'est ce qui a fait qu'aujourd'hui, on puisse organiser cette conférence régionale, la première, n'est-ce pas, dans le cadre de la mise en œuvre de ce règlement ministériel. Merci beaucoup. J'ai voulu faire cette introduction-là en attendant que véritablement le panel se mette en place. Merci beaucoup.
Merci. Ovation pour M. Mbarga. Je rappelle que tout à l'heure, nous aurons un panel où nous aurons représentants de la ZLECAF pour parler justement de ce règlement ministériel. Qu'est-ce qui va se passer maintenant? On va débuter le panel. Mesdames et messieurs, on a envie d'apprendre ce qui se passe à Djibouti, donc on est là pour suivre, pour écouter, et ça va se passer avec notre modératrice.
Le titre de ce panel, c'est Djibouti's Roadmap to Economic Transformation, a model for special economic zones, Pour la présentation et l'organisation, j'invite maintenant Madame Farah Hanafi, qui est the Executive Director of the African Economic Zone Organization. On l'applaudit, s'il vous plaît, mesdames et messieurs.
Alors, avant qu'elle ne prenne la parole, elle a combien de temps?
Alors, vous avez 1 heure, et lorsque vous me voyez approcher, vous verrez qu'il faut arriver à temps pour qu'on puisse avoir assez de temps pour avoir notre pause déjeuner. Par la suite, nous avons 2 autres panels très importants aujourd'hui. Donc, je vous ai dit, c'est une conférence très riche. Alors, il faut vraiment qu'on soit assez assidu par rapport au temps. On vous remercie. Et bien évidemment, il faut également votre participation, parce que la partie échange avec les participants est une des perspectives les plus importantes qu'on va réutiliser aussi pour la partie récap, ainsi que des recommandations. C'est réellement un échange, c'est un partage de connaissances, alors il faut vraiment échanger.
Merci Raïsso. Vous avez la parole, Farah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, welcome and thank you so much for joining us today on this first edition of this important regional conference on special economic zones organized by the EFCFC Secretariat in partnership with the Republic of Djibouti. I am delighted to be here today for this my first time here in this beautiful country, Djibouti, and I am honored to be here as a moderator for this fundamental session on Djibouti Roadmap to Economic Transformation, a model for special economic zones. So we are here today together to explore a country that is fast becoming a guideline light of economic transformation in the Horn of Africa. Djibouti is strategically located at the crossroad of Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Djibouti holds a position of unique geographical importance. In recent years, it has taken bold and deliberate steps to harness these advantages, not only by enhancing its role in global trade, but also by seeking ambitious economic reforms. At the heart of these efforts lies the development of special economic zones, a cornerstone of Djibouti's strategy to accelerate regional integration, attract direct foreign investments, and stimulate sustainable development. These zones are more than just hubs for commerce or trade. They are engines for innovation, job creation, and infrastructure development, all of which are important for driving long-term economic resilience. So before starting our first panel discussion of this conference, I will invite Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi to come here on the stage and to give the first keynote speech. Thank you so much. Exactement. So I'm honored to be joined today by 3 panelists who bring a wealth of expertise to this topic. Let me briefly introduce them. So we have with us Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi, the chairman of Djibouti Port and Free Zones Authority, as the principal architect of Djibouti Port Strategy and Special Economic Zones. He has played an important role in positioning Djibouti as a leader in the region's economic transformation. And I will invite Mr. Karim Ahmed Rifat, the CEO of Engage Consulting and a member of Egypt-France Business Council. Welcome, Mr. Rifat. So he's an international expert in the field of competitiveness and best practices in special economic zone, and he will offer valuable insights on how Djibouti special economic zones contribute to regional integration and economic transformation. And we have also with us Mr. Simon Mebrato, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Budget, Djibouti. Welcome. He will provide a governmental perspective focusing on public policy and the role of international institution coordination in the success Djibouti special economic zones. So thank you so much for your presence and for your contribution.
Ladies, gentlemen, before we start, please watch this video on Djibouti International Free Zone.
Bordering east at the tumultuous Bab el-Mandeb Strait and south to the vast expanses of the African continent, here is Djibouti. It serves as a crucial maritime link connecting Asia, Africa, and Europe, establishing itself as a vital gateway to East Africa and the entire African continent, Middle East, and European markets. Embracing the spirit of inclusivity and harboring global aspirations, Djibouti International Free Trade Zone spans a planned land area of 48.2 square kilometers, making it the largest industrial park in Africa, leveraging the century-long historical strengths known as PPC, Port Park City model, in an attempt to enable your products and services to reach international markets, developing Djibouti as a key commercial and shipping hub that radiates across East Africa, Middle East, and even Europe, establishing it as Africa's new gateway to the world. Ambition and excellence lead to a brilliant future. The pilot zone of Djibouti International Free Trade Zone covers an area of 2.4 square kilometers and was operational as of 2018. Vigorous efforts have been made to construct a powerful platform that takes the lead and expands strongly, actively integrating commerce logistics, export processing, and business facilities in the free trade zone. With the growing importance and influence of the region, it has risen to become a new engine propelling the regional economic development. With its lofty ambitions and a promising future, Djibouti is capturing global attention due to its superior geographical location, stable political environment, flexible financial services, and liberal foreign exchange policies. Products made in Djibouti can enjoy tariff-free and quota-free policies when exports to these countries and regions. Enterprises in Djibouti International Free Trade Zone enjoy numerous zero-tax benefits and relaxed labor policies, integrating intelligence and collaborating for a distant future. The Free Trade Zone aims to become a globally influential international trade and industrial services platform, committed to providing customers with end-to-end comprehensively supply chain solutions. Currently, industry clusters in automotive, building materials, foodstuff, industrial raw materials, and consumer electronics have been formed. Riding the winds of the era to reach grander achievement, the official launch of the African Continental Free Trade Area marks the gradual emergence of a unified African market and opens unprecedented opportunities for all stakeholders in economic and trade cooperation. Djibouti International Free Trade Zone will surely become a win-win platform for multinational enterprise from various countries.
Excellent, fantastic video. So in our discussion today, we will dive deep into how Djibouti is leveraging its special economic zones to position itself as a regional logistic and trade hub, the opportunities and challenges that come with this transformation, and how Djibouti evolving model can offer valuable insight for other emerging countries navigating similar paths. So let's begin this exciting conversation. And we will begin our discussion by turning to Mr. Abu Bakr Omar Hadi as the key figure behind Djibouti's Special Economic Zone strategy. Can you please share with us Djibouti vision for economic transformation and how Special Economic Zones fit into this roadmap? Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. It's a very long history. When we talk about Djibouti ports and Djibouti Free Zone Authority, the first free zone in Djibouti was created in 1954, 70 years ago. Oh, I have the same age, almost. So this happened we started with free ports, and everything has started with the opening of the Suez Canal, opening the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea. That's what's make, and the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb, of course, it's not so popular today to cross Bab el-Mandeb, but that's what's make the trade Far East Europe very key and attractive for Djibouti. So we become first free ports, and we have not succeeded on the free zones because the interland was not built. We were doing on the ports only transshipment, ship to ship, and refueling ships going from Europe to Asia. We started refueling ships with solid combustible, like coal, and then we shift now for liquid bunkering. Then when the railway connection with Ethiopia, road connection with Ethiopia, we started serving the interland. So for a long time, Djibouti free zones was only a free port. Then thanks to President Gele, when he came as a leader of this country, we revived our position, our strategy. So that's where we started building free zones. So many people in Djibouti didn't understand. They said, what is a free zone? Free zone don't pay tax. So you pay, how you pay the salaries of the teachers, the healthcare, everything, security, how you pay? There is no tax on the free zone. So we had a very long discussion, mainly with my brother from the Ministry of Budget, to convince and to sell the concept, saying the company coming in Djibouti, establishing themselves in our free zones, if they stay in their countries, Asia, Europe, can we charge them? Can we ask them to pay tax, corporate tax? No. So let them come here, let them establish here. Then the main advantage for us, for Djiboutians, is job creation. So today we are the first employer in the country, about 50,000 jobs, direct and indirect.
It's a good number.
Yeah, direct and indirect for the workforce of this country, which is estimated at 350,000. So that's how people in Djibouti and Africa, they have to understand the concept. Are we looking for tax, or are we looking for job creation or wealth creation and retaining our foreign currency by trading among us? So that's the new concept we are trying to make understand the business community, the government, and the government was very reluctant at the beginning, but my president said no, we have to do that. And the difference with Djibouti free zones is we are allowed to sell to the local market. The customs are on our gate. So any goods coming from the free zone, processed, logistics, sell to the local market. The Ministry of, our Ministry of Budget, they are collecting, the customer collecting duty. And for the rest, no duty for Africa, for the rest of the world. Our weakness at the beginning was, we had two challenges. One was energy cost, too high. The second one was salary, was too high. We get our independence in 1977. Before leaving the French, they tripled the salary of all the staff in Djibouti. So we cannot compete with other free zones. So now we are okay. with the salary level, with the rest of the region. We are not still okay with the energy. Because the Secretary General has mentioned we have to trade also with the GCC countries, oil-rich countries, very low and competitive price of energy. And they have reasons also. In Oman, in Saudi Arabia, they have reasons competing with us for African market. So our advantage is we are on the right side of the Red Sea. We beat them on logistic costs because anything they produce on the other side of the Red Sea, they have to transport by sea and then use a port. They are using two ports, one in the Arabic Peninsula, one in the African continent, and also sea transportation. So we are very competitive for not only Djibouti, for all African ports. If they build the right infrastructures, the right depth of ports, we are very competitive than any other port in Europe, south of Europe, I mean the Mediterranean Sea, Asia, so far, we are competitive. Americas, we are competitive.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you for that insightful response. It is clear that Djibouti vision is both ambition and strategically sound. So let's move on to Mr. Karim Rifat. As an expert on special economic zones, you have seen how the creation of these zones can be transformative. Why do you think the establishment of Djibouti special economic zones is a significant step toward economic transformation and regional integration?
First of all, allow me to start, if you allow me, by very quickly to extend my regards to the Djibouti government and to the organizer, as well as to the team members of the African Continental Free Trade Area for inviting me to visit Djibouti. It's my first time to Djibouti as well. I thank you a lot for the welcome and for the hospitality. It seems like very smiling people, and I'm very happy to be here. I would like to start by telling Your Excellency, if you allow me, it was delicate as a request to come as an Egyptian who comes from a country that's trying to promote itself as one of the countries doing great matters on special economic zones, and to come and to applaud the work of Djibouti free zones and special economic zones. But I want to start by saying, I think the importance of special economic zones is there is enough business for everyone. I think there is enough trade volume in general, globally. Trade globally is going to continue to grow to allow Djibouti and Egypt and a lot of other members in the African ecosystem to develop their own special economic zones or free zones or even private free zones. I mean, there is a lot of innovation on the matter. The second thing I would like to, before I start saying why it's an important model and a success story, I would like us to put the special economic zone in the context of everything that is happening around us as Africans, as members of the African Continental Free Trade Area. We need to remember fundamentals. Africa today deploys 25%, almost 25% of the world's GDP. It assembles 22% of the world's human capital. So when people tell us as independent experts, yeah, you're trying to defend trade in general and special economic zones in general, I'm very honored to sit on the board of the International Trade Council as an independent board member occupying the policy chair. I was appointed on the 1st of January, and 20 days later, Mr. Trump came in. And people started to tell us, you're mandated to work on a council that is trying to defend free trade, but the most important political economic ecosystem in the world, or one of them, does not want free trade. Allow me to say two things. I like a lot what His Excellency Wan Karimene said today. Resilience and determination is very important, and that is one box that I see the Djibouti authorities ticking. Today, the Djibouti government and Your Excellency, you're not standing still to look at what Mr. Trump is going to do or not do. Is he going to impose more taxes or less taxes? Is he going to alleviate? We are continuing to work with Djibouti. I see a model of people continuing to work on with determination, with diversification of their economic zone, with digitalization of their economic zone, and with a lot of data management, use of Internet of Things, of artificial intelligence, and all of that. Let me remind everyone, because a lot of things are being said around any panel I sat on recently about Mr. Trump. The beauty of the American system is Mr. Trump, as per the democracy of the US, in 1,000 days, someone else is going to be preparing his campaign to follow Mr. Trump. So already 90 days are gone, and 1,000 days and counting. So resilience is key. We need to look to beyond. We cannot get crisped. We cannot get scared of doing the right things. And I think I need to applaud the Djibouti government and Your Excellency of doing this. So again, I think as a model, we're seeing determination, we're seeing diversification, we're seeing digitalization, we're seeing a lot of data use. Next to this, I think it's important to highlight the importance of special economic zones in the context of the African Continental Free Trade Area, why we're here. Yes, 49 countries have deposited their instruments of ratifications of the African Continental Free Trade Area. But as you all know, devil is in the details, and matters take things to happen and to be delivered. And sometimes countries and governments will have to go to their constituents and their parliaments and negotiate and dialogue with their private sector to do their obligation of minimizing tariffs or completely striking tariffs. It's okay for a certain government to take their time, but here the special economic zone comes as an enabling, fast-tracking tool. Maybe the government will a certain government will say, okay, give me my time to decrease tariffs, but in the meantime, come and use my special economic zones as an enabler to attract investments. Finally, what I really like about what Your Excellency and what everyone is doing in Djibouti is that you're playing among the big boys. You're starting already to speak the future language. You're talking about the use of artificial intelligence. You're talking about green hydrogen. You're talking about sustainability projects. You're talking about pre-feasibility studies built on data to be offered to people to come. And you're allowing people to use your special economic zone, not only to manufacture in your country and export out, but you're also allowing them to bring it into your country, and customs is benefiting. I love what you said about the dialogue that you had with Your Excellency about, yes, but they're not paying taxes. Normally, business advocacy people like us at Engage come in the middle and try to bridge gaps between two different positions and try to hammer on value creation and job creation and in local value creation to convince the government. I see that this is a job that is already well done from you. You didn't need a mediator like us to negotiate. I think what I'm seeing is a country full of potential, a special economic zones full of potential, and I really would like to again thank you and applaud you for the amount of depth that has been put in the thinking of Djibouti free zones and special economic zones.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed Rifat. You have highlighted important aspects of Djibouti approach that will be useful for other countries to consider. So now let's turn to Mr. Simon Mebartou, as someone deeply involved in the public policy aspects of Djibouti special economic zones. What specific initiatives within this zone have proven most effective in attracting investments and fostering local entrepreneurship?
Thank you, first of all, for inviting us. Maybe we have to alternate in French or in English.
As you like, as you like.
Okay. As we are in a French-speaking country, so let's respect the country. Donc, merci pour cette initiative. Je laisse le temps peut-être aux gens de mettre leurs écouteurs. C'est bon. Il faut reconnaître que la République de Djibouti, comme l'a si bien souligné le président de l'autorité des ports et des zones franches, a pris cette initiative au niveau du gouvernement d'encourager les investissements privés, et surtout les investissements privés étrangers, qui sont un des moteurs de la croissance économique. Et à travers le projet, l'idée de mettre en place une zone franche. La zone franche, nous sommes un pays traditionnellement et déjà prédisposé à la zone franche, parce que nous avions déjà la zone franche dans le cadre portuaire, une zone franche portuaire depuis les années 50. Mais l'idée d'avoir une zone franche industrielle plus élargie, plus vaste et créatrice d'emplois et surtout de valeur ajoutée est une initiative ambitieuse et en même temps aussi c'est un véritable challenge. C'est un véritable challenge dans le sens où créer une zone franche, bien sûr il y a eu le débat, faut-il payer les taxes, comment payer, comment faire payer, quels sont les avantages, mais en dehors de tout ça, pour créer une zone franche, il faut avoir une politique macroéconomique saine, un climat des affaires sain, un environnement assez propice, une sécurité. Et c'est tout ça que le gouvernement a mis en avant pour créer, parce qu'on a souvent tendance à penser que les zones franches, c'est une, c'est une fuite en avant par rapport aux problèmes réels du pays. C'est-à-dire quand on veut fuir la bureaucratie, on va se décider à créer une zone franche. On veut fuir la paperasserie, l'insécurité, on pense que, ou le manque d'électricité ou autre, la zone franche. Dans le cas de Djibouti, c'est l'inverse. Nous avons créé les conditions pour que la zone franche puisse se développer en parallèle. C'est-à-dire que, qu'est-ce qu'une zone franche? Si en sortant de la zone franche, nous n'avons pas la sécurité, si nous n'avons pas l'électricité, si nous avons un taux d'inflation énorme, l'investissement, le cadre d'investissement, c'est un cadre global. On ne peut pas dire je vais vivre dans la zone franche et oublier les problèmes du pays. Et donc c'est tout cet ensemble. Et c'est ça le challenge que le gouvernement a réussi, c'est de créer un tout. Un tout où on peut choisir entre la zone franche, faire des affaires dans la zone franche, pour le business et l'export et l'industrialisation, et également travailler dans le secteur normal, c'est-à-dire dans le reste du pays. Et c'est ça qui fait qu'il n'y a pas de dualité entre zones franches. Ce qui nous sépare, c'est uniquement la taxe, mais je veux dire les conditions, et bien sûr beaucoup plus de simplicité au niveau des procédures, mais c'est de créer en sorte qu'il n'y ait pas un véritable gap. Et c'est ça le challenge à venir aussi pour la plupart de nos pays du continent, c'est de ne pas créer deux sociétés. Parce que sinon, ça risque à la fin de ne pas avoir la paix sociale, de ne pas avoir un climat sain en sortant de la zone franche. Il faut que le parallèle soit fait, qu'il y ait un bridge entre la zone franche et le reste de la ville. Et c'est ça, aujourd'hui, qui fait que les retombées économiques, avec une croissance économique de 7% en moyenne par an, un taux d'inflation maîtrisé de 1,5, même pas moins de 2%, et ça, ce sont des indicateurs macroéconomiques importants pour favoriser les activités de la zone franche. Et en ce sens, effectivement, maintenant, cette zone franche placée dans le cadre du marché commun africain, de la ZES et même du COMESA avec plus de 400 millions de consommateurs, a sa place. A sa place non seulement au niveau des infrastructures portuaires, des télécoms, et également du secteur bancaire qui est en plein développement, et surtout on l'oublie souvent, c'est nous avons un franc, une monnaie qui est convertible, une monnaie fixe avec le dollar, et ça, c'est depuis 1949, et ça vaut plus que beaucoup d'autres infrastructures. Et ça, c'est important parce que c'est le moteur des échanges. Et nous veillons à tous les niveaux pour que tous ces éléments-là, ce cocktail d'éléments, puissent se maintenir, se préserver et développer et créer une zone franche. Aujourd'hui, les débats n'est plus de qu'est-ce que nous allons gagner de la zone franche ou qu'est-ce que nous allons perdre de la zone franche. Non, c'est comment nous devons tous accompagner la zone franche pour que l'économie djiboutienne, les activités à Djibouti puissent s'exposer, s'exporter au niveau régional, continental, et pourquoi pas par la suite dépasser même le continent. C'est ça le véritable challenge. Et effectivement, le cadre réglementaire, le cadre bancaire, tout cela doivent contribuer à maintenir ce climat.
Excellent, excellent. Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Simon. Et en tout cas, je vous félicite pour ces initiatives qui aident à réduire la complication des procédures administratives et en même temps qui attirent des investisseurs qui souhaitent s'installer dans un environnement d'affaires sain. Now let's turn to more strategic question for all our panelists, and we will start with Mr. Hadi. So Djibouti's geographical location is a huge opportunity for the development of trade in the Horn of Africa. So how does Djibouti intend to use the EFCFTA and the special economic zones to take advantage of this geostrategic position or location?
So thank you, Madam Farah. You cannot choose, you cannot buy, you cannot sell the special position of your country. It's a God-made. We are here for 1,000 years. So how we can take advantage of that, and is up to us to put in place the right developments, infrastructures. So we are invested a lot on to attract these businesses, mainly maritime, and then we shift to the corridors to link the other landlocked countries in the continent. So mainly we are doing infrastructure development, and as Mr. Simon mentioned, is to put the right legislation in place to attract the business. The other concept we are putting in place, we don't want to attract businesses that cannot do business without being here. So those guys, we say, okay, you cannot be a free zone company. I don't know if you understand my point of view. You have to come anyway, because you cannot sell from abroad, from other continent, so you are not going to be a free zone company. So what we are trying to attract is the companies, we need their services, and which can sell from their country to Djibouti and to the rest of the continent. So these people, this kind of business, we want them in Africa for job creation, skill development, and for all these things, so we need them. I hope I answered to...
Of course. And it is really fantastic to see how Djibouti is leveraging its strategic location for growth. So next, Mr. Mibratu, what opportunities does Djibouti's geostrategic position present for regional integration within the framework of the EFCFTA?
Thank you. If you have to conclude on this, reflection on the next and the future of our free zone and our development, is that we have to say that Djibouti, the main resources that the Djibouti have, it's human resources and its geostrategic position. So combine all this, we have to make it at the first front in the competition within the common market, East African Common Market, COMESA, and within even the continental. And this is what we have to sell. We have no oil, we have no gold, maybe a little, but we have this position, and the position combined with our financial modernized system, and combined with our, human resources and our policy, how to even to have added value with the human resources, because we have a small country with 1 million inhabitants, but it's not the case. We have to even have more talents and skilled manpower in order to make the difference. And this is, for the future, once we have the macro, I have said, once we have this development and the economic growth with us, maintain, because the challenge is how to maintain the economic growth in this turmoil and in this crisis era. We have to maintain, and by maintaining this, I think we have all the ingredients to develop and boost our free zone economy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Simon, for your response. And now I would like to go back to Mr. Rifat. What challenges does Djibouti face in establishing and promoting its special economic zones? And from your point of view, how have these challenges been addressed?
Well, there is no success story without challenges, if I may say so. I think the key challenge is going to be how to ask the Djibouti government to distinguish itself. And I completely agree with Your Excellency. You cannot choose your position, but you can choose how to distinguish your position that has been God-given to you. And I think one of the key challenges is about the availing of the information and the availing of the data and of the preferential treatment the special economic zones or free zones of Djibouti may offer to the international business and investment community beyond the normal ways of communicating and advocacy. And I see this forum and the partnership with the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat as one of the endeavors. I think these endeavors have to be multiplied, and they have to be, the advocacy of Djibouti's efforts have to be also multiplied beyond the African regional context. That's for me one of the key challenges that can be turned into an opportunity. The second thing is when people, and I hope through the several panels that we will have today, people will start understanding that special economic zones or free zones are not just a one size fit for all. There are different multiplications and definitions, as we were both discussing before the panels. Free zones, special private zones. Sometimes free zones are dedicated to a very specific industries that requires a special type of investments or a special level of technological advancement and so on. And I think that Djibouti today, with what I see, having visited the country for 36 hours now and being on the panel, and what I see with the relationship with the African Continental Free Trade is very well poised, is very well positioned to potentially drive another element of African regional integration, maybe a doctrine or a special white book on special economic zones in Africa and so on. I know that Mr. Wemkele Mene is very keen on stretching the boundaries of African Continental Free Trade Area beyond the simple trade agreement. We've seen what he's done with Pan-African payment systems, with the protocol on investments, with the protocol on digital trade. I have discussed with him his ideas about a common drug registration authority for Africa, and I think he would be very open to discuss with Your Excellencies potentially something deeper and more knowledgeable for all Africans, driven by Djibouti around free zones. The second challenge is, vous avez bien parlé d'un cocktail d'éléments, et je pense l'élément le plus important quand on va parler de zones libres, c'est vraiment l'élément du talent, la connaissance de ce que c'est qu'une zone une zone de libre-échange. Je pense qu'il y a tellement de détails quand on parle de les réglementations tarifaires très spéciales, the detailed rules of origins, the customs clearing, potential, and so on. Et je pense là, il y a un potentiel pour que le peuple, la jeunesse djiboutienne, soit bien éduquée pour qu'elle soit in the first phase of explaining to business community les détails de cet agrément. Je suis désolé, j'ai un peu alterné entre le français et l'anglais, mais je pensais que c'était plus accurate.
Bien sûr, bien sûr.
Ce qui est aussi, merci beaucoup, vous avez bien résumé, bien mentionné. Mais there is a countries, many countries in Africa who doesn't know where is Djibouti. Yes, you know. Even East Africa. I have been in Kenya. I have been in Uganda, walking on the streets, saying, where are you from? Djibouti. Say, what is Djibouti? No, they didn't ask me, where is Djibouti? Eh? They said, what is Djibouti? So, the beauty of Djibouti is we are a small country, but as you rightly mentioned, we are exposed to the world. The rest of the world knows, they know Djibouti, but not Africa. how Africa can trade with Djibouti. When I tell them we have 6 deep sea ports, they cannot believe. So that's a very important step. And the other point you mentioned correctly is I prefer to say that in French, l'adéquation, formation, emploi. And in Djibouti Port and Free Zone Authority, we ourselves train our staff up to master degree. And by the way, in September, we are going to receive 23 all females, captain and chief engineers. Thank you.
Excellent. So it is very important to understand the barriers that can arise and how they can be overcome. So please, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi, I will give you my mic. So I have another question for you. As Djibouti serves, as a model for other countries, what key lessons can be learned from its approach to economic transformation through special economic zones?
Okay, this always is what you can learn from Djibouti is small is beautiful. So the size of the country, the hierarchy, we can solve the problems, we can pass legislation very fast, we can talk to each other, even if you have a different point of view with the certain, because we have the parliament, we have also the executive, so we have to convince all these parties when we are introducing new business and saying, okay, one of the things, the major thing we have faced is with customs again. We have an assembly chain in the free zone. So the customs say, oh, this cargo enter, and you are taking out a car. So for them, we are trying to make an education to the customs, saying we take in spare parts, and we are taking out a car. They say, no, we don't understand. Car in, car out. Spare parts in, spare part out. So that's the kind of challenges we are facing in Djibouti. And I think more and more also African countries are, and I can tell you, Djibouti customs is the most flexible, knowledgeable customs. I will not say in Africa, in the world. They are very cooperative. So we need to train them sometimes. They don't know the business. The only thing they know is tax collection. So they are goalkeeper. You know the goalkeeper? He has to keep the goal. But this is not the business. If you pass the ball, then you make business. You are not gatekeeper. You are not a goalkeeper. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi. And now let's look to the future with the final question for all our panelists. As we move forward, what are the key actions or strategies that Djibouti plans to implement in the next 5 years to further strengthen its special economic zones and enhance its position as a regional economic hub? And I will start with Mr. Simon.
I will ask.
Okay. Okay.
To cross the continent.
Okay.
Africa continent is the only continent in the world to transport cargo from East Coast, Indian Ocean, to Atlantic Ocean. You have to make tour around the continent. So far from Djibouti ports and East Africa, we reached only South Sudan, Rwanda, no DRC Congo. We cannot cross Central African Republic. And the huge population and the huge wealth of the continent is on the central part. More than 9 million population. So if I have to take the discharge cargo here and then take around the continent, so we have to cross the continent, to trade, break the barriers. We have to cross the borders. Physical barriers is there. We have to build roads and railways. But also the unphysical barriers, the control on the borders. How many hours the trucks are expanding at the border from one country to another. So all these things, yeah. Okay, you can continue.
Mr. Simon, the floor is yours.
Well, about the future,
Yes,
but our present is the future also.
exactly.
So, I mean, we have to work harder, as said the chairman of the Free Zone Authority, and from the government side, we have to implement and to go further for economic reform, for tax reform, in order to create this climate of investment more favorable. Because we cannot see them. I mean, we have to see the free zone, this economic, special economic zone has the driver, has the engine. So it doesn't mean that we have to sleep behind. So we have to be at the same speed. We are in a fast track. In a fast track, nobody should stop, otherwise there will be traffic jam. And so in this way, we are condemned to make more reforms, economic reform, in order to boost this economy and to make this free zone has the light and the driving engine of all the country economy. Because we are ready to sell everything, to sell goods and trade, to be an economic place for Djibouti. But we have two things that we cannot sell. It's our peace and our geostrategic position. We keep it very jealously, and we have to, not only to keep it, we have to develop it, and after that, in order to make it has the real engine for all this. So in order to have this, we have to work constantly on the reform, public finance reform, tax reforms, and social reforms, because at the end, all this economic development should be seen on the social side, should be seen on the population. Also, all this work is the government work. So the dividends of all this economic growth should be seen everywhere. And in order to avoid, as we can see other places, a double speed society. This is our main challenge. We have the global economy of the country should be developed at the same speed, at the same trend, and with the same collective energy.
Thank you. Mr. Rifat.
Il serait politiquement incorrect qu'on m'accueille chaleureusement à Djibouti, puis je me mets sur l'atelier pour leur dire comment faire de leur économie, alors que je ne suis pas de ce pays. Je suis très bien accueilli. Mais je vais dire deux choses. J'ai beaucoup aimé ce que vous avez dit, Excellence, qu'il ne faut pas accepter des gens qui veulent venir à Djibouti rien que pour être dans une zone de libre-échange et pour ne pas avoir un aspect de promotion pour sortir de la zone de libre-échange et d'être là pour pouvoir vraiment contribuer économiquement pour le développement du pays. Il faut que chaque industrie, chaque usine qui vient pour être implantée dans une zone économique de libre-échange ait la vision, le plan d'en sortir un jour et de laisser la place à une autre pour venir. Et c'est comme ça que le développement, et je pense qu'il faut vraiment regarder cette stratégie, ce que vous faites d'ores et déjà bien. La seule chose que je peux vous recommander, si vous me permettez, comme quelqu'un qui n'est pas de ce pays mais qui le voit, c'est plus de communication par rapport à ce que Djibouti est en train de faire. Je pense que le film que nous avons vu aujourd'hui est impeccable. Il faut en faire plus, il faut sortir. Il faut avoir la vision. La troisième vision, c'est vraiment le talent, le développement du talent. Et je ne parle pas seulement pour le développement d'un talent qui sera au service de Djibouti. C'est aussi l'export du talent djiboutien. C'est un talent très rare, une jeunesse qui comprend assez profondément les accords de libre-échange, les détails et ces choses-là. C'est une qualité cherchée et je peux en être témoin. La raison par rapport à laquelle nous avons, dans le groupe Engage, lancé il y a 10 ans une boîte de formation pour rien que faire de former du capital humain et de l'exporter. Je vais vous dire juste une petite anecdote. Les Émirats arabes unis, un pays où nous travaillons, sont très agressive pour négocier ce qu'on appelle les, excusez-moi, les CEPAs, les Comprehensive Economic Partnerships Agreements. Dans leur équipe, core équipe, qui négocie, entre 15, il y en a 6 qui ne sont pas des Émiratis, qui sont des Africains, des Égyptiens, un Marocain, et voilà. Alors ce calibre, il est très requis, et je pense qu'il faut travailler, c'est aussi, ça devient des ambassadeurs pour le commerce et l'investissement de Djibouti en externe.
Pour le moment, on va les garder à Djibouti. Brain drain, fuite de cerveau. On veut garder nos talents ici. Pas ici à Djibouti seulement, mais en Afrique. Et bien les payer. Moi, j'étais expatrié dans un pays africain. Nigeria. Lagos Port. I was the MD. So the Nigerians were making a joke on me, saying, Abubakar, what is the population of Djibouti? I was answering, 1 street of Lagos. Because that time there were 15 million in Lagos only. So I don't recommend. When we have excess, yes, we are going to export, like the Filipinos or I don't know, or the Indians. But for the time being, let's keep our talent in Africa. And let's train more and more Africans and pay well our talents. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all our panelists for your contribution today. And now we will open the floor for some questions from the audience. So raise your hand if you have a question.
Please keep your questions concise and to the point. We have those 3 speakers. We've talked about data-informed policies and strategies. We've talked about a climate of doing business that's more favorable with some tax reforms. We've also talked about the importance of keeping talent here locally and avoiding brain drains by investing in human capital. So please, let's be more focused with our questions.
And please introduce yourself briefly before asking your question.
Here you go.
Bonjour, cher auditoire. Bonjour, très chers panélistes. Merci pour cette brillante présentation. Merci pour cette brillante présentation. Donc, je suis Abou Hadizatou. Ma question va aller à l'endroit de M. Aboubakar. Donc, je voulais savoir, est-ce qu'il y a un délai qui est prévu pour les entreprises qui viennent s'installer sur la zone franche? Ça, c'est ma première question. Et ma deuxième question, je voudrais savoir s'il y a une promotion qui est faite à l'égard du secteur privé. Autrement dit, moi, en tant que ressortissante de Djibouti, est-ce que j'ai cette possibilité d'aller m'installer sur la zone franche et de faire mes activités? Merci.
Merci pour votre première question. On va prendre une deuxième. And if I can see your hands up, please, for the next few questions. I have the second question over there.
And can you hear me? I'll speak in English. I'm sorry, I'm a Djiboutian who speaks English. So
Can I answer first the first question?
Yes, of course. Pardon.
Yes. En français, l'établissement des sociétés dans notre zone franche est entre 1 an et 99 ans. Des contrats de location de terrain, ce qu'on appelle land lease. Et si vous prenez un terrain pour 99 ans, c'est ce qu'on appelle un bail amphithéotique. C'est comme si le terrain vous appartient. Vous pouvez hypothéquer et prendre des crédits pour développer votre terrain ou d'autres business. Donc, pour les juristes, je pense, the legal people, they know very well what is the amphithéotic land lease. Deuxième question, pour les Djiboutiens, it's open also. Ils peuvent s'installer. Nous avons plus de 900 sociétés installées dans nos zones franches et à peu près 35% sont des sociétés djiboutiennes. Merci.
Your question, please.
And my question, and so first I'll introduce myself, and my name is Ismail Amarre. I'm a neuroscientist and I'm an AI specialist. And I'm a Djiboutian. I was born in this city. I lived in the US for almost 30 years. And the question that you raised, Mr. Abubakar, is brain drain. And brain gain is the opposite of it. But we say brain gain, but it's not institutionalized. I don't see any institutions or any systems that actually go headhunt people who would be talents, who would be, in addition to the economy here. So are you guys planning on an actual thing for that brain gain? Are there systems that you put in place for that brain gain? Because I'm interested in that, and I taught at universities in the US, and I see a lot of talent over there from the South who are being recruited by South Korea and other places, but I don't see them being recruited by like African countries. So I'd be more interested if you could speak to that.
Okay, thank you for your question. I think there is a mismatch with the qualification of the people and the job available. So that's need really not only from our side, Port and Free Zone Authority, but the government and also the Ministry of Education to train the people. I cannot hire astronaut. If you are trained, you can go to NASA. So the only issue we have now is to train. The Minister of Education, everyone has to connect with the companies in free zones, outside the free zones. What kind of skill you need. So we tell them, train this qualification for me, for my company, and I guarantee the employment. So that there is a mismatch. That's why the experts, Djiboutian experts, African experts, they are highly qualified, educated, but we don't have a job for them sometimes, not all the times. But if I say something, maybe you are going to interpret wrongly. We like experts because of the exposure. So if I say that everybody will leave the continent of Djibouti to get the exposition, it's not only learning, it's the experience, expectation, how you interact with the people, financial, legally, all these issues. But definitely, we want to attract more, to retain first, more talent in the continent, in Djibouti, and to welcome more from the diaspora. Thank you.
I see that we have another question.
On va aller avec vous et ensuite vous. Ça vous va?
Ça marche. Thank you for your participation, everybody. My name is Sabri. I'm Djiboutian, speak English, of course. Come from Canada. So my question is very simple. Do they exist like a platform that pretty much all people who come from overseas, they come and apply for the job, especially in the port? We do have another good port in Djibouti right now. So I just want to know if there exists a platform that we can go, that people who live overseas, Europe, Canada, and everything, so they can go and see all the job available for all the ports, not only one port, but all the port. And after that, we can come and apply for it. So this is my question. Thank you.
Thank you. We have it, correct? That platform. What do you call it? Port info? We have a platform, yes.
Yeah, I'm talking about the platform, a website.
We have it. I'm asking to my colleagues.
Sorry.
Yes. So we have it.
Is there any other question? Okay, it will be the last one, please.
Oui, bonjour. Bonjour, je m'appelle Youssouf Ouroblou-Raïs et je suis président de l'association ADCRA, Association de développement communautaire de la région d'Arta. Aussi, je suis conseiller de jeunesse au ministère de la Jeunesse et de la Culture. Ma question est la suivante. Elle s'adresse au président du port autonome de Djibouti, M. Aboubakar Hadi. En tant que conseiller de jeunesse, j'aimerais savoir sur les ZES, les zones économiques spécialisées, comment les zones économiques spécialisées pourraient profiter de la jeunesse djiboutienne. En tenant compte de... Compris le sujet, c'est que les entreprises auraient moins de difficultés à remplir les conditions administratives, fiscalité, douanière et tout ça. Comme les zones économiques spécialisées, c'est ça ma question.
Je n'ai pas bien saisi la question, mais les ports et zones franches de Djibouti, c'est pour tous les Djiboutiens. La seule condition, c'est la qualification, c'est l'offre et la demande. C'est tout.
Alors Raïzou, je vois qu'il y a une autre question au fond, là-bas.
J'aimerais bien voir aussi une femme, parce qu'on avait quand même notre président des zones franches et de l'autorité des ports qui a mentionné les 26 nouvelles capitaines, all femmes et shipping engineers. Alors on aimerait bien aussi voir la matière grise femmes dans cette salle, si vous avez des questions.
Assalamu alaikum.
Oui, vous levez s'il vous plaît. Please.
Je croyais que les femmes devraient rester assises.
Je la vois. Ne vous inquiétez pas, je la vois.
Assalamu alaikum. Je suis Arafa. Je suis dans une association qui s'appelle REDA. Enchantée. I'm an entrepreneur. I'll ask my question in English. I'm not an expat. I'm Djiboutian, pure produit de Djibouti. What I wanted to ask are two questions in one. So one, have you ever set up, have you thought, for me, it's for the whole, my question is directing to the whole panel. So first of all, what you're doing, Mr. Aboubakar Hadi, is remarkable, mashallah. With the free zone, I have worked inside the free zone. I have worked for Chinese companies in the free zone, and the job you're doing is remarkable. Congratulations. That's one. My question is, have you ever thought about setting up a program that's going to, like a China merchant, for example, they set up CIME. Have you ever thought of setting up a program for, because we're doing a good job at the port of Djibouti. Free zone is doing a good job and is doing well so far. And I think I did my thesis 10 years ago in China for my master's thesis, the port of Djibouti, what it does, how it is going to grow, and it is heading the right way, alhamdulillah. So my question is, do you have a plan for entrepreneurs, Djiboutian entrepreneurs, whether they are expat or not, to set up a program like the CIME and to make us go forward and attract other African investors and businessmen, because I think we are the ones that are going to attract them here to partner with us and invest with us. So that's one rock, two birds. We attract them, work with them, it's a win-win. So do you have a plan? Does the port of Djibouti, the free zone of Djibouti, do they have a plan to set up a program that's going to involve Djiboutian entrepreneurs into the free zone companies? It's very strategic location. It's very strategic idea to have entrepreneurs, Djibouti, attract entrepreneurs from Africa, all across Africa. I think that would be a good move. Instead of us being in other programs, like the CIME or any other program, I would love to be in a program that's made by Djibouti Free Zone for Djiboutians.
Thank you very much for that. And if it's okay with you, Madame la modératrice, une dernière question qui provient aussi d'une femme, d'une jeune femme.
D'accord.
Bonjour à vous, mesdames et messieurs. J'ai une question à vous poser, si c'est possible. Ma question est la suivante, du coup. Comment les ZES à Djibouti s'intègrent-elles dans les initiatives économiques régionales comme la zone de libre-échange continentale africaine? C'est tout.
Est-ce que vous pouvez répéter votre question, s'il vous plaît?
Oui, bien sûr. Comment les ZES, du coup les zones économiques spéciales à Djibouti s'intègrent-elles dans les initiatives économiques régionales comme la zone de libre-échange continentale en Afrique.
Oui.
Est-ce que je répète ou je faut reformuler ma question?
Non. Ok.
C'est bon?
C'est bien reçu.
Oui.
Merci.
Et la question, c'est pour tous les intervenants?
Oui.
Ok, super.
Oui.
Je vous remercie.
Ok, si je peux commencer. Bon, ok. Lorsqu'on construit une maison, il faut commencer quelque part. Et souvent, c'est la fondation. Et là, ce n'est pas une maison, c'est un continent. Il faut commencer dans un coin. L'Union européenne, EU Free Trade Area, ils ont commencé avec 6 pays. Ils sont aujourd'hui 27. En combien d'années? Je pense que plus de 50 ans pour en arriver là. Des conditions monétaires pour intégrer des macroéconomiques, la démocratie, beaucoup de choses. Donc oui, il faut commencer quelque part. Et il y a beaucoup de pays qui ont commencé au nord, dans les pays du Maghreb, en Afrique du Sud, à l'ouest, à l'est. Mais je pense qu'on a eu des zones économiques comme la Comesa, et ancien ZEP. Et on a eu aussi la zone de libre-échange aussi ECOWAS, correct, en Afrique de l'Ouest. Donc on est en train de se constituer, se construire, et puis finalement faire un seul single market pour le continent. Et pour la première question, l'avant-dernière question, nous avons un système qu'on a mis en place, je pense, depuis maintenant 3 ans, non, deuxième promotion, qu'on appelle ZES pour les entrepreneurs, pas seulement djiboutiens, pour tout le continent. Mais c'est un type de start-up. Il faut venir avec un projet, et je pense que c'est encore ouvert, hein. On a encore quelques jours pour la prochaine promotion. Les start-up, il y a un programme, il faut s'inscrire. Mes collègues sont là, vous pouvez aller dans notre booth là-bas. On va vous accueillir, vous donner toutes les informations que vous avez besoin. Donc, Djibouti, c'est un pays francophone. On a mis ça en place et imaginez. L'année dernière, la majorité, c'était quoi? Nigeria. Out of 30 students. C'était le Nigeria qui a raflé tout, avec les projets, avec la façon de convaincre, la façon de les financer. Donc, ce n'est pas seulement l'autorité des ports en franche, mais c'est avec un partenariat, avec notre partenaire, investisseur, China Merchant, qu'on a fait ça. Donc, c'est ouvert. Merci.
Super. Monsieur Rifa, je pense que vous avez des choses à rajouter.
Non, c'est juste une petite recommandation. It's just a very quick recommendation. I think you are doing something similar, but we've seen in other geographies. If I'm not mistaken with your name, Your Excellency Arafa, creating competitions around Djibouti free zones is one of the ideas that we've seen work quite well. I mean, entrepreneurship competitions that are funded by some of the investors that you have ideas with, that they come, they present business cases and projects, and the investor is already pre-engaged in providing some seed investment or some tactical investment to bring the project to life, and that allows the people to know more about the free zone and so on. I would like just, if you allow me, to make one comment just for the joke. Yes, the Europeans started in 1951 with the iron and steel. I really hope that the Africans will not be where the Europeans are at 70 years after, because I think we can do much better.
Monsieur Simon.
Moi, je rajouterais que, pour dire que la taille du pays, aussi bien la population que la superficie, ne doit pas faire peur. Djibouti, c'est ça qui fait un peu la force, et c'est une vision, c'est qu'elle a été membre fondateur du COMESA, ou même de la ZEP d'abord, donc membre fondateur de la ZEP, puis de COMESA, membre fondateur de l'IGAD et aujourd'hui membre fondateur aussi de la ZLECA, les gens se disent, mais pourquoi un petit pays va chercher à être noyé dans un grand océan ou dans un grand conglomérat ou dans une grande confédération? C'est parce que nous sommes convaincus que ce n'est pas la taille. Nous sommes convaincus que les atouts sont ailleurs, les atouts sont dans cette position-là, et surtout dans cette compétition qui va s'avérer rude, on le sait très bien, mais qui fait en sorte que la politique aussi bien au niveau diplomatique, neutralité, et surtout la paix qui est durable, qui est un challenge. Maintenir la paix dans une zone de turbulence, c'est un challenge. Et tout ça fait en sorte que, plus la position géostratégique et l'économie, font en sorte que, comme on dit en anglais, on allait dire small is beautiful, mais ici c'est small is big pour Djibouti. Merci.
Thank you to our panelists, and I would like to thank our audience for being part of this conversation. And as a representative of the Africa Economic Zones Organization, I will ask our panelists to give or to share like a key message or the final word to the African SEZ community. Yes, thank you.
If you allow me this time to start, I have 4 messages. Determination, digitalization, diversification, and data. This is what we need to have guiding our action in the next phase. Determination, diversification, digitalization, and data-driven decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Rifat. Mr. Abu Bakr Omar Hadi.
My colleague, he didn't left anything for us. Huh? So, same thing, but education, 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 all these 4 areas my colleague has mentioned.
Is the key.
Yes.
Your final word, Mr. Simon.
I think that no more to add. Instead, that having always this 4D, diversification. For diversification is very important for us because we have to see other economic sectors, and digitalization, this is the future. And in order to have all process very simple and fast, and of course, determination is the engine, because, and I can add determination and political will combined with peace.
Thank you to all our panelists for your contribution, and we look forward to continuing this dialogue and seeing how Djibouti model can inspire broader economic change across the region. Thank you once again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the regional conference on special economic zones.
Thank you. And this round of applause goes not only to the panelists, but also to our moderator. And do you know what I learned today? I learned that a free zone can make us rich. It is free, but it can make us rich. Thank you for those inspirations. I think you'll be invited right now to stand to your feet for the photo. The photographer, okay, is here. Mesdames et messieurs, alors ce panel est terminé et il nous montre que on peut devenir riche à une zone free. C'est assez bizarre. C'est l'inspiration du jour. Donc comment est-ce que ce qui est gratuit finalement nous rend riches? Donc c'est ça qui est fantastique. Alors on va rester encore ensemble au cours de la journée, mais juste après ce panel on aura une pause déjeuner. Donc tout le monde sera invité au déjeuner. Maintenant moi j'ai eu un ticket. Donc j'espère que vous avez vos tickets aussi. Donc sinon il faut s'adresser à l'organisation. Et puis juste après on aura un panel. On va revenir sur des sujets qui ont été abordés. Comment on fait avec la technologie? Comment on fait avec l'innovation? Et le capital humain? Et le contenu local? On en parle tout à l'heure lorsqu'on sera de retour. Et puis bien sûr, je vous annoncerai la suite du programme. N'oubliez pas que ce soir, vous êtes invités au dîner. C'est un cocktail dînatoire. Et on va se mettre ensemble pour le networking. C'est ce soir, non? C'est ici, non? Oui, c'est ici. C'est ce soir et c'est ici. Voilà. Le lunch aussi, c'est tout à l'heure. Le photographe, il a fait 17 photos. Là, on est en 35. Monsieur le Président, Excellence, merci beaucoup. Merci, Farah. Ah oui, j'ai oublié. Est-ce qu'on peut avoir un micro, s'il te plaît? La plateforme dont parlait le président de l'autorité, c'est quoi l'adresse? Oui, l'adresse de la plateforme pour le recrutement. Oui, on veut l'entendre en public. C'est info
DPFZD. Et dedans, vous allez dans la page officielle, il y a marqué job.
D'accord.
Et c'est là-bas qu'on publie quand il y a des offres.
Et pour ceux qui sont sur place, c'est pour ceux qui nous suivent à distance. Pour ceux qui sont sur place, bien sûr, on a le stand tout à l'heure de l'autorité. Il faut aller visiter et prendre toutes les informations. Merci et à tout à l'heure. Merci, my friends.
Customs and trade regulations. We are accelerating the AFCFTA implementation. We are all AFCFTA. The African Continental Free Trade Area is a flagship project of Agenda 2063 of the African Union, the Africa we want to boost intra-Africa trade. It is a